Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. This is going to be another throwdown video. So it's time to jump into that again, where we kind of have a tournament between 14 albums that play against each other to come down to see who's the champion of that tournament. That's kind of basically what it boils down to. And just like any other tournament that you have out there, this isn't about having the absolute 14 best ever in this category. It's just 14 random albums that get to show up in this tournament, and those 14 battle it out for the best. So don't take any of this as the best of all time or nothing like that. So today's category is going to be 80s pop / new wave. So the best 80s pop / new wave album is what we're fighting for in this particular tournament. And when you really get down to it, what we're really talking about here is the best 2-3 punch. So the best 2 or 3 songs on the album is really what we're kind of comparing here. So keep all that in mind as we go through. All right, so let's just kind of jump right into it. First of all, I'll introduce you to each album really quick, the 2 or 3 songs that made it kind of jump out for me, and then after that we would just jump right into the tournament without having to have a bunch of discussion between each round. So the 14 albums that are going to duke it out today, we're going to have Pat Benatar, Live from Earth. Let's see, 3 songs you could pick off of here, I would say, is a Heartbreaker, Love is a Battlefield, and maybe We Live for Love. I mean, you also had Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Hell for Children. So you have, you know, any number of kind of a 3 song pick you could have there. Next, we're going to go with Madonna, self-titled. Of course, Like a Virgin is the one that always gets like the big 80s notoriety. But, you know, this came out in 83, and you had Lucky Star, Borderline, and Holiday, which are, you know, 3 huge tracks off of that album. Next, we're going to have Heart, you know, legendary Wilson sisters. And, you know, here you have What About Love, Never, and These Dreams. 3 gigantic songs there. We're also going to have a little Wham, Make It Big. And of course here you have Wake Me Up Before You Go, Everything She Wants, and Careless Whisper. You could even throw Freedom in there if you want to replace one of those songs. REO Speedwagon, High Fidelity. You know, Don't Let Him Go, Keep on Loving You, and Take It on the Run. You know, probably definitely did the big 3 off of that album. And then Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love is going to be in the mix this time. So again, number of songs you could pick off of here. I'm probably going with Tougher Than the Rest, Tunnel of Love, and One Step Up. Of course, you know, Brilliant Disguise is one you can throw in there too. So fantastic one there. The classic here, Play Deep by The Outfield, Say It Isn't So, Your Love, All the Love, probably the 3 that I'm picking off of that album. Faith by George Michael, Faith, Father Figure, and then probably maybe Monkey, I guess. Those probably be the 3 I would pick off of there. Again, looking for just kind of 2-3 punches. Bryan Adams, Reckless. So of course here you have Heaven, Somebody, Summer of '69. It's Only Love, another good track off of there, but we'll stick with those first 3. And the legendary Songs from the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. And here, of course, you have Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and Head Over Heels. 3 fantastic ones there. In Excess, Kick, another great album. I'm going with New Sensation, Need You Tonight, and I guess you can say Mediate. That kind of goes with Need You Tonight, though. You can also go with Devil Inside. So, you know, again, easy to pick 3 off of that album. Duran Duran, Rio, another classic there. You have Rio, you have Hungry Like the Wolf, and Save a Prayer. Those are the 3 for me off of that one. Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down. Again, pick whatever 3 you want. All Night Long, Penny Lover, Stuck on You, Running with the Night, Hello. You can pick any of those 3. Same with this one here, Cyndi Lauper, She's So Unusual. Money Changes Everything, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, Time After Time, of course, She Bops All Through the Night. I mean, just, again, pick your 3. Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel. Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative, Roni, Rock With You, Every Single Step. I mean, there were some smashes on that album right there. So again, pick your three. And last but not least, we're gonna have the Cars in there, Heartbeat City. So here you're talking about what Drive, You Might Think, Magic. 3 great picks from there. All right, so those are the entries into the tournament. And so as always, just gonna kind of just shuffle them up just a little bit. Even though I'm not looking, I'm just gonna randomly reach in and pick 2 at a time, and they're just gonna go at it, and then we'll kind of go from there. So just kind of go into the middle of the stack. So the very first round, we have Wham! Make It Big going up against Heart. So again, we talked about the songs that were there. And again, it all goes back to basically my personal taste. And the way I keep thinking about it is, which album could I listen to repeatedly without getting tired of it, and before I would get tired of the other one maybe. So everything, of course, here is great. Here I'm going to have to go with, wake me up before. I think these songs may be a little more kind of classic to me, but I think Heart is probably what I would actually enjoy listening to more for a longer period of time. So for the first round, I'm going to give the Wilson sisters a nod, and Wham gets eliminated pretty quick. Next two, try not to overthink it. I think I'll make this take longer, so if I can just try to make quick decisions. You got Faith against Heartbeat City, and again, I think with with songs like Faith and Father Figure, one of the sexiest songs I think ever made, quite frankly. But really, after Faith, and as much as I like Father Figure and Monkey and a few others there, I think the Cars are a little more timeless to me with Drive and You Might Think. So again, I think I would listen to this one a little more so than that. So, geez, George got bumped twice just that quick. But he knows he's a legend, so he's not bothered. Next we have Madonna against Pat Benatar, of course. And quite frankly, this one's fairly simple for me. I mean, I love Madonna in terms of her music. I really can't stand her that much. But, love her music, and of course, what she did bringing in the female element of the 80s and the way that she did was pretty awesome. But Pat Benatar is just the rocker of all rockers. I mean, when it comes to female artists in the 80s. And I always say, anyone who's watched my videos over the years, don't sleep on Pat. Because everyone gets so used to her 80s hits, they don't pay attention to a lot of her B-side stuff, where she rocks as hard as anybody. So Madonna's got to get the boot this round. So next here, we're going to go with Cyndi Lauper against Duran Duran. And again, both legendary albums, both have fantastic songs on them. But when I think kind of song for song on the album, it's just as well as, again, how timeless songs come across to me. I'm going to have to give the nod to Cyndi Lauper on this one, because she's so unusual. It's just an amazing album that just never gets old to me. And, just all the songs are timeless there. Take you back to that period so well, and just fantastic. So Duran Duran gets the boot. So next round we have, what do we have here? Tears for Fears, going up against Lionel Richie. I mean, again, you have a legendary album that everybody freaking knows, and there's a reason why. I mean, they were definitely something just very cool when they came out, and just all the things that made them great. Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down. I mean, the only thing that kept this album from being maybe one of the biggest things ever was the fact that it was fighting Michael Jackson's Thriller on the charts at the same time, and was still holding its own. So, also one of my favorite songwriters of all time. So if I'm having to choose between these two albums, honestly, I'm going to have to go with Lionel Richie, just because, I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite songwriters, and his ability and his power and his depth to sing about love and the way that he emotionally shares it with you is very well displayed on this, whether it's in a more upbeat song or a slower song. But you know, and with stuff like Stuck on You and Penny Lover and things of that nature, almost kind of go back to his Commodore days. It's just hard to deny this album in that regard. So as magnificent as this is, Lionel Richie wins this round. Tears for Fears is out. And next round we have REO Speedwagon and Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. You know, Don't Let Him Go and Keep on Loving You. Again, just some of my absolute favorite 80s songs that just kind of really take me back to that time period. I've always loved REO. This is when I first fell in love with REO Speedwagon. You know, again, Bruce Springsteen here with Tunnel of Love and One Step Up. You know, it's kind of funny too, because when this album first came out back in the 80s, I wasn't very fond of it at all. It definitely kind of grew on me, but I was always a gigantic fan of REO Speedwagon. But the more I've grown and gotten to know Bruce and appreciating his songwriting, many of his songs have kind of taken things to another level. So I'm probably going to have to go with all the songs being equal, I think I respect the songwriting with Bruce Springsteen here. So surprisingly, REO Speedwagon for me is gonna get knocked out this round. Next, we're going with Bobby Brown against the Outfield. Again, just with mega hits like Your Love. And you know, I love the Outfield, and I think Your Love is like one of the biggest songs from that 80s time period. Say It Isn't So and All the Love are both amazing songs, but I think those are pretty much amazing songs because you love the Outfield and what they do, and it's a great Outfield song. I think when you look at with Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel, those were smashes. Like, not only did you love the album, but any R&B/pop R&B artist would have killed to have just one of the songs that he had on this entire side one of this album. Again, with Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative, Roni, and Rock With You were just gigantic 80s R&B and pop hits. So it'd be hard, I think, even for as magical as this is, to be able to dethrone Bobby Brown there. So Bobby Brown wins. Outfield is out. In the very last round, or very last game on the first round, we got Bryan Adams against NXS Kick. Again, kind of the same thing, but you know, Summer of '69, Somebody, Heaven, New Sensation, Need You Tonight, Devil Inside. And again, we can't deny either one of these albums. Both have just big legendary songs on them. But I think there was something, Bryan Adams made a fantastic album. There was something more magical about what NXS was doing at the time and what they did on this album that was really kind of unique, their own thing. And again, the songs are kind of timeless as well. So as amazing as this album was, NXS, I think, takes out Bryan in this round. All right, so now we go to the second round. Shuffle these up a bit. All right, maybe we'll go a little bit quicker this time since we've kind of gone into specifics about each album. So second round, we got Bobby Brown against, if I can grab one here, Heart. And here, again, all the same reasons we just said before, I think Bobby Brown takes Heart just a little bit bigger, a little bit more, you know, just everything we've already talked about. So yeah, Bobby Brown takes Heart in this round. Next we have Lionel Richie and Pat Benatar. Whew. Man. You know, quite frankly, with the songs just being as incredible as they are and everything I've already said, I honestly think just having Love Is a Battlefield on this takes the cake when you talk about 80s pop rock. Just in terms of that legendary stats and how amazing the songs are. Not to mention, it's one of my favorite videos of all time, watching Pat do the shoulder shimmy. Love it to death. So yeah, again, unbelievably, I think Pat Benatar is going to take out Lionel Richie in this round. Next, we have The Cars, Heartbeat City against Bruce Springsteen. Again, if I'm thinking about the most moving stuff off of this, you know, I'm thinking about Drive you might think is a fun song. Magic is kind of a fun song. Drive is really kind of the emotional driver on this. So when I kind of compare that to the emotional drivers here, it's with like really kind of Tunnel of Love being a upbeat song that's very emotional, but One Step Up is just amazing storytelling that draws you in. I'm going to say Bruce takes this round just a hair over the Cars. And the last two, again, just two mega albums right there. But I think what I'm going to have to do here is take Cyndi Lauper, just because I think there's more numerous hits on this particular album. And again, this album is a little more timeless for me. I'll listen to this a lot more than I will listen to NXS from the standpoint of enjoying it and not having it fade at all. This album has just never ever faded from me since I first heard it back in the early 80s. So yeah, I think NXS gets knocked out and Cyndi Lauper moves to the final four. All right, so that's our final four right there, right? Cyndi, Bruce, Pat, and Bobby Brown. So do a little bit of a shuffle here, and let's see who goes to the championship game. Cyndi Lauper against Bruce Springsteen. I think for a lot of reasons I've said already, I just think it's hard when I start looking at song for song, even though I'm kind of switching the rules a little bit in that regard, because I was talking about like the top 2 or 3 songs. But even then, I think if I take the top 3 songs off of this and the top 3 off of here, I still think Cyndi Lauper has the edge a little bit in terms of that. So I think she takes out Bruce. Now this is probably going to be the hardest one yet. Pat Benatar and Bobby Brown. I think Pat Benatar, again, just so embedded as she is with the 80s period, and everything I've already said about Bobby's album. But again, it's hard for me not to look at that side one and just think it's hard to beat that in an album. So as much as I love Pat, I think I got to give this round to Bobby Brown with Don't Be Cruel. Which means the championship game for the best 80s pop rock new wave, and Bobby Brown, of course, definitely a crossover R&B and kind of pop rock. He was huge with a lot of the charts on MTV and everything else. But these are the two that we have here. And so, again, when you look at both of them, tons of great songs throughout. So more than 3 to pick from. Both, when you look at how they represent, the 80s pop rock and kind of on the 80s R&B / pop rock side. Again, just some of the most legendary songs that in a very great way represent what was great about those time periods. So what I'm going to say here is that it's kind of as big as some of the songs were on one of the albums. I think the other is just quite a bit more timeless, if you will. It's just kind of never gets old, stuff that's been redone so many times. So I think the championship of this particular tournament is going to have to go to Cyndi Lauper. She's So Unusual. So yeah, best pop rock new wave in terms of what was in this bunch. And again, with all the songs you have on here, it's stuff like Money Changes Everything, which I think was kind of somewhat of a forgotten hit. Like, I think that would have been a pretty big #1 single if she wouldn't have had the other bigger #1 singles on this album. So I think even Money Changes Everything was in the shadows a little bit of the rest of the stuff that was on this album. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I don't need to say anything about that. When You Were Mine. Another great Prince cover. Again, Prince writing some amazing music that someone else took and just kind of took it to another level. So Time After Time. When I was talking before about like one of the songs that just gets covered so many times in so many ways, in so many different ways. I can't name the number of different movies that I've heard time after time being performed by somebody else in some kind of different way. A cappella version, R&B version, just, you know, on and on. So the entire side one is just magical. She Bops, of course. I mean, we got to give her props for being on the Filthy 15 or whatever that was with the PMRC when they were trying to censor music and all of that. That was one of the songs that they named. Just because, in case you didn't know, it was about masturbation. All Through the Night, again, just if you want to know what the 80s was about, that's another song just to go listen to, and it just takes you back to the magic of it. Witness, I mean, just way too many songs on this album to, this is hard to overlook in this. So congrats to Cyndi Lauper. And as always, guys, like I said, kind of let me know what you think. I mean, this whole thing boils down to my personal taste in comparing these albums. Like I said, it's not the best of all time or anything of that nature. So you always let me know what you think down below. And as always, thanks for watching, VC, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.